Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Fresh Perspective Podcast. This is the 5th episode, and it is about music, rhythm, and vibes. We have very special guests, our brothers, the InGlorious. We're going to dive in, and we're going to get to know them. We're going to get to hear about their process and their journey as musicians and as men in this world. I'd be remiss without saying, in these times, we got to really support and show love to one another. So let's jump right into it. We're going to get to know these guys and really have a good time today.
Cool. So welcome, guys. We thank you guys for joining us today. So we're going to do a couple icebreaker questions for you. So let's just start off by introducing who you guys are to our viewers.
Sure. First, just shout out to you two and the Fresh Perspective Podcast. We come to support. We appreciate y'all having us on. My name is Kyle Johnson. I'm one half of the InGlorious, songwriter. I'm a musician primarily, and I sing every now and then. And I'll let him introduce himself.
Yeah, I'm Stacy Harcum, singer songwriter, the other half of the InGlorious. A little bit of production here and there on the small side, but that's Kyle's job. But that's
Kyle's
it.
Job. That's Kyle's
All right.
job.
So let's talk about your name. That's another good one. So your name as a group. So we got your individual names. I call y'all a few different things as far as my brothers go growing up. But what about the name InGlorious? Let's get some information about that. Where did that come from? What are the origins to that? I know that y'all are superheroes, so I need to know the origin of this conglomerate.
So I think it was about 3 years ago, Kyle. We were thinking of a name for ourselves. Nothing was really sticking. And I forget who it was. I don't know if it was me or Kyle, but
That was you.
It was me. The InGlorious was the first name without any real meaning attached to it. When I said it, I just thought it sounded cool. And then as we're kind of building our mission statement and building what we actually want to represent, we were in the studio actually with my dad. He was like, well, why don't you guys capitalize the G and make it like InGlorious? And it's like, so we try to capture two sides of it. Like the InGlorious is usually like people that are like, looked upon a certain way.
Shameful or like
shameful, yeah. And then at that same time, we are those people, we have those things inside of us, but we are also in glory. And that's what we try to capture, like the balance and the beauty of both sides.
That's dope.
Okay.
You could say it's really, like a fresh perspective, brother.
There you go.
I love it. That's a real deep meaning behind the name. I don't know how many artists really take that time to really develop. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, in the onset, it was because it was like a cool sounding name.
Right.
Then after doing some deliberating, you realize that there's actually some meaning behind this, which I think is kind of like Inception. Like you might have thought it was just because it was cool, but
right.
You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in that subconscious, you was already kind of heading in that direction, and it just took your pop to kind of pull that out, help you pull that out.
Right. That happens to us a lot, actually.
Yeah. So that's good. That's good. So my next question would be, where are you all from? If you don't mind sharing.
You can go ahead first, Kyle.
So I'm currently residing in the Philly suburbs. I'm right outside of West Philly in Drexel Hill. I've always been in that area right outside of West Philly in Delaware County. So whether it be Yeadon, Darby, I lived in Yeadon, I lived in Darby, Lansdowne, and now Drexel Hill. And also I was born in Philly, moved out when I was maybe 3, and have just kind of been in that surrounding county area my entire life.
Yeah, I'm originally from West Philly, moved to Upper Darby when I was about 13, and now I reside in Westchester. Go Rams.
Go Rams. All right, so I got a 2-part question for you guys. So I'll ask the first part first, and then you can answer it, or I'll ask. You know what? I'll ask the question, then you just answer the questions. How do you ask? Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So the first part of the question is, what's your favorite song? And then the second part is, and it doesn't have to be a song that you guys wrote. It could be anything. And then the second part of the question is, who's your favorite music artist and why?
That's a very tough question. See, now if I'd have got that question in advance and some pre-production,
Right.
So, man, favorite song. That's a really tough one. I'm trying to think if I can contextualize the question, like what is my favorite song right now, or like.
That's fine. That's appropriate if you do it that way.
So, all right. What I've been listening to lately. I was just scrolling through my phone to see what I've been listening to. I've been listening to Sir. He's this R&B artist.
Yes, sir.
From
Tough.
From the West Side, and he has this song called "L.A." It's kind of a chill, like guitar-driven song, but it's just the vibe of it is just so dope. Like he's just such a creative writer, and he's got great melodies, great production. So I've been listening to his album "Chasing Summer," which dropped last year, but I didn't get a chance to really listen to it during quarantine. Until quarantine, when I really got to start going through some stuff. And he's fire. He's really like that song is really good. So he's been real fire for me lately. Favorite artist? I definitely don't have one favorite artist. Big inspiring artist for me, and I'll say it's Frank Ocean. He's a really big inspiration for our music, and it's kind of obvious in some of our stuff. You can really hear some of the stuff that he's done is really influential. So he's definitely a big one on, I know for me and Ace, but I took it so now you can't say it.
I'll do anything. Let's see. I think my favorite song, it probably could vary, but for now, I'll say Frank Ocean's Unity off his what was that? The Endless project he did.
Mm-hmm. The video album, right?
Yeah, where he built the stairs.
Also, Pure Imagination, you say is one of your favorite songs of all time.
Yeah, that's my top. That actually is my top favorite song, I think. Pure Imagination, because that's just like one of the most beautifully written songs I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And since Kyle stole mine, let me think. I'd say other than Frank, who is my favorite? I'm gonna just throw one out. I'm gonna be cliche. I'm gonna say my dad. As a musician.
Oh.
As a musician and as an artist, I'll say like there's probably, other than Frank, there's probably no other person I've learned more musically from than my dad. So I'll put that out there.
All right, that's respectable because your pop is world class. So
yes, for sure.
Yeah, so that's definitely respectable. That's Stacey Harcum, if y'all don't know. So you go check out his music. Soul Exposed is his latest project that he has done. I'm sure he got some more stuff coming for us. So that's just a little plug right there. We got to plug. That he's one of the fathers in the village. So we gotta plug the father in the village. So go check out Soul Exposed and be ready for some new stuff to come. Also a master on the saxophone too, but we'll go ahead on.
You can hear him on Art of Unwinding, by the way.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yes.
He made a little Art of Unwinding. He made a cameo on that.
Actually, he's played on a few of our. He's played on No Play as well. He's
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to have that legacy on there. So moving into some more questions to really get to know you and really unpack. We're gonna go to this next one, and it is, how did you get into creating music?
Yeah, you can go
You
ahead.
could do it individually, and then you could do the collective, like what started y'all to realize, because there's some backstory to y'all coming together.
Right.
So I'll do me first as far as creating music. I'm not exactly sure what it was that sparked it for me back in 2003. I just really wanted to start playing guitar. And I asked for a guitar for Christmas of 2003. I was 10 years old. I got a first act guitar. And I was really an avid listener of music, but I wasn't making any music, but I just loved listening to music. Most of the music back then that I listened to was Fred Hammond, CeCe Winans, and Stephen Curtis Chapman, and stuff like that. Just stuff that my parents had playing, Earth, Wind, and Fire, or whatever. A lot of either old school stuff or gospel stuff. And I had a CD player that I used. It was a maroon CD player. I used to just sit in the car and listen to these CDs over and over again. But I guess I just really wanted to play. And so I got a guitar when I was 10, and I took lessons very briefly, maybe for a month or so. They didn't really stick though, but I always really enjoyed just sitting down with it and trying to create my own stuff. So the moment that I first got a guitar, it was all about creation. Like just however I was feeling was how I was trying to make it come out on the guitar. So I was less inclined to like lessons, but I was really driven, self-driven as far as creatively expressing myself through the instrument. So that's the genesis of how I started creating music. And then as I got older, I started listening to a lot of different kinds of music, introduced whether it be from friends or whether it be from future teachers or whatever. So it kind of grew my musical experience, just not just in the concept of gospel music or whatever, but it just kind of expanded until I was listening to pretty much anything. And then I wanted to create so much stuff like that stuff. So I was always really drawn to other instruments as well. So I picked up playing the piano, specifically in college. When I was going to community college, I used to play piano a lot. And I like playing the drums a little bit too. So I just like getting my hands on instruments and being able to express myself in different ways. I think that's just been the gift that God has given me. So that's kind of where my personal creation stuff comes from.
And for me, it started very, very young. Like me and my dad writing raps. Just him just sharing just certain things with me. As I got older, actually Kyle kind of put me onto a lot of different music, different friends at school, and then just our being involved with worship as worship leaders, me and Kyle. That kind of grew a lot of creation just with the things that we make up on the spot or when we're in that setting, just trying to glorify God in that moment. The things that we're making up in the creation that we're doing, it's kind of building something later for our songwriting. And all those things just kind of came together for me. At first it was more so melody for me, and then lyrics, I started to really, really, really get find a love for lyrics when I started listening to a lot of Frank. And it all came together. But I think Kyle's been involved in a lot of my growing up as a writer, as a musician. Kyle, Josh, just all the gang. The gang, everybody doesn't know the gang, but y'all know the gang, so we'll talk about the gang.
You forgot to tell them I used to give you inspiration at AMC. You forgot to tell them.
Ray gave me a few. Ray gave me a few inspiring words. Yes, sir.
I'm just kidding.
Definitely
I'm just kidding.
Ray was getting exclusives.
So hold on. Give me 1 second, Tuck. Hold on. Yo, so right. The way I found out Stacy could sing, right? So he walks through my kitchen and I just hear this, I don't know, bro, it was so peaceful. Like his voice was so peaceful. And I turned around and he walks out the door. I'm like, wait, was that him? Then he came back like, yo, you sing? He was like, yeah, I sing. And then I started to listen more intently as he would walk by and just do different things. Man, listen, before I knew the InGlorious, I knew Stacy. But yeah, the music is off the chain. But go ahead, Tuck, my fault.
No, I was just going to
Thank you.
say, kind of bringing that full circle. No, and I share the same sentiments. Growing up with him and watching the progression, a lot of people don't know, and he has some work where he's rapping, and he kind of blends the two, which I love. I mean, I always text him whenever they drop something. I always text him. I always text Kyle.
Truth.
One of the things I tell Ace all the time is nobody is touching that pen. Nobody. I don't know nobody in the game right now
Thank you.
that might be
Thanks.
on the billboards that's touching the pen, because there's so
I'm
much
trying.
passion behind what he's doing. There's so much passion behind what he's doing. So I think the next thing I want to do, as far as like you share with us your individual kind of journeys and things like that. So where did it come to? Because me being a part of the origin, or being able to have a front row seat, I was sitting courtside
Right.
of the origin.
Right.
I know that there was a group called the Reset. I
Mhm.
know
Oh
that,
yeah.
you know, that was supposed to blow groups out the water, like in
Yeah.
my mind, like this is going to take it, and it never became what we thought it would. But I
Right.
think
Right.
there was this blessing that came out of it, because everybody from that group is doing wonderful things and just in the world at large.
Yeah.
Everybody, I can't think of not one person that was a part of that that isn't doing something that's just excellent, that's serving the community that they're in,
Right.
or in an artistic way, whatever it is. That group it's really not dead, it's well and alive,
Yeah.
because everybody is doing something that is adding to our world right now.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
how did you all become the InGlorious out of that reality of the Reset?
Good question. So Ace kind of touched on it when he was talking about his own personal journey. We really grew up in a very musical environment, and it was a very like kind of closed musical environment where we would spend so much time around each other
Right.
that when we started making music, a big part of us hanging out together was literally just sitting down and making music together, whether it was just like silly, stupid songs, whether it was just whatever it was, we just would sit around like, and that was just the thing we did. We did it to make each other laugh. We did it to tell stories or whatever. We did it to encourage other people. So that's kind of the origins of the Reset, and where we all were just like, yo, let's like make this into something solid. And then how it kind of split off, we kind of split off because we went to, that was in the very early stages of our life in high school and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Then once you go on to college, your environments change. So our environment changed. We both actually went to the same community college for 2 years.
2 years. Yeah.
Delaware County. I rep Delaware County for life, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rep Delaware County for life. So we went to Delco for 2 years, and that was a time where us two specifically were spending a lot of time together because we were in a lot of same classes. We spent a lot of time in between classes in the piano rooms, making songs and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And that's really when we started making music, like just us two together. And I remember Stacy had an assignment in one of his classes what was the assignment? It was to write a song or something, right?
It was just to express a specific emotion
Yeah, one of
through
those very,
some
one
through
of those
some
very
sort of art medium. Yeah.
right. So I think he came to me and was like, I want to do a song for this project. So we ended up doing this song and recording it. And I think, did we put it on SoundCloud? How'd you play it
I
for your
think,
class?
yeah, we did put it on SoundCloud. It's
I
not
think
on
we
there
put
now, but
it's not on there now. But we put it on SoundCloud. He played it for his class. Everybody loved it. So since that point, that's like the first time I really remember specifically, like there was a very good musical connection and vibe there. So we just started building on that based on proximity. And so some of the other members, some people moved away, some people started, doing other things, whatever. One thing about our group is that we all definitely have shared interests, but then we also have a lot of
very, yeah,
in film and social work and like whatever. So, which is just an awesome thing. So, but music is really at the heart of a lot of what I do and a lot of what I feel is the purpose for my life. And I think I can say the same for Ace too. So
yeah, for sure.
we kind of grew together through that 2 years of college. And then after that, it was just kind of a wrap. We just were always making stuff together. So I think that answers the question.
Yeah, that answers it.
I got lost, but I came back.
Yeah, that was spot on.
That's good. That's
Very
good.
informative.
There's a lot of insight.
Very informative.
Yeah, I just ditto everything Kyle just said. It was those Delco days that really, that was like the rubber meeting the road.
Yep.
The Phantoms. The Delco Phantoms.
Delco Phantoms, bro.
We're gonna get you up there, bro. We were supposed to have y'all up this semester, but we're gonna get y'all.
I know. I was sick about that,
we
bro.
were so excited about that.
That's one of those Jones that we were really hyped for.
Yeah, we was hyped about that.
Hold tight. We're gonna get y'all up there.
All right.
Before y'all get too big on us.
Hey, man, listen, man. Y'all got
coming no matter what.
CNN was trying to get this interview, bro, but we gave it to y'all, man.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that's what I'm talking about.
That's called privilege of the brother.
Right. Right. No, that's real good. All right, so I got a question for you, right? Mm-hmm. So outside of listening and or creating music, what do you enjoy in your free time?
You want to go first or should I go first?
I can go first. Yeah, I'll go first.
Right, go ahead.
I really like photography, film, like just anything visual. I'm starting to get more into I want to start getting into fashion design, but like really photography is my thing. Like ever since them Delco days, photography has been a big part, and being able to capture, because when I'm taking a picture, I can hear all the melodies and all that, so it's a little bit differently. So I'm trying to capture what I can hear in my head sometimes visually, and that's where I've had fun with that.
Yeah, that's dope.
And I like my perspective. So
for me, so much of what I do is music related. There really is not a whole lot that I do outside of music stuff, but I do.
It's a minstrel.
I do really enjoy playing video games. I'm a real avid game player, but I'm more so old school. I really like going back to the stuff that really just entranced me as a kid, because I used to be real hard in it as a kid. PlayStation 2, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, like all that stuff. So I go back to those things sometimes to really enjoy them. Other than that, I'm working on getting books into my repertoire. I've been reading some books lately, and what else do I get into? I got a couple shows that I watch, and other than that, that's pretty much it.
So, what would be your favorite video game? This is off topic. Favorite video game?
Super Smash Brothers by far. That's
okay.
my territory. That's my
Nintendo 64 or the new stuff?
Really, it's the whole like nobody can really see me in any of them, but like the newest, the latest one is the one that I really enjoy playing. But that was that was the game when I was a kid. When I got a Nintendo 64, I don't know, I can't remember how old I was. I think I was 11. That was the game that really changed me and my brother's lives. Like, so yeah, I have to say Super Smash Bros.
They cheat.
So you putting a challenge out to everybody in the world right now.
Oh yeah.
Come see you on that Super Smash Brothers.
Oh yes, for sure.
All right,
sure.
I'll put my check on you. I got you.
All right.
I'll bet on it.
Cool.
Be careful.
Cool.
They cheat.
Let's move into your music itself. How would you describe the music that you typically create? If you could describe it in any way possible, just what would be your description of it? And even add in, how do you feel? How does it make you feel, or what is the feeling behind it?
All right, let me go first, Kyle. All right, so it's hard, like people ask me this question all the time, like, what do you think what genre do you think you fit into? And it's always hard, but the way you frame the question is the perfect way to frame the question. I think about our music like dream states of different things that have actually happened in life, like just a certain type of dreamy reflection, showing whether it be love, pain, whatever. Because our music is real dreamy, I think, and that's how I always visualize it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm gonna bring it back down to earth, and I'm gonna say, I would say like alternative R&B. So it definitely has,
Yeah.
it's got a lot of R&B themes, a lot of vibes that infuse R&B and hip hop and folk music, and some classical stuff too. It's a lot in there, but I usually try to streamline it by saying it's like an alternative form of R&B as far as the way the music sounds. I think our music has to do a lot with perspective, which is funny.
Right.
Why I made that joke about fresh perspective, because even though it is R&B, it's not like this. The subject matter it's not just as straightforward as a lot of R&B is today.
Mm-hmm.
It could be about love, but it could also be about like, I love you, but why do I feel like I hate you? Like it's
Right.
which actually a lot some songs do talk about, but it just kind of has it's very it's I want to say roundabout for some reason. It's not roundabout, but it's very it's just got a lot of different perspectives, and it's kind of like music that I want you to feel a certain way when you listen to it, but I also want you to be enlightened in a certain way
Mm-hmm.
about some type of subject matter, whatever it may be. Um, and it's just deeper than maybe just some physical sensation or just some raw feeling of love. Some of the more philosophical ideas that surround these more base human concepts. Yeah.
So, man, now that's deep. That's real deep. So, what is one message, just one message that you would want to give your fans?
I would say I think it's in our mission statement. Like kind of taking a step back from ourselves and looking at the full view. Like we're all here to love, we're all here to learn. Through the highs and lows. I feel like it's our job to find balance and then perpetuate those things that we've learned that are gonna build up each other. That's where I am with it.
Yeah. For me, so I think the good thing about the Inglorious and the message and the theme of it is that a lot of people can apply it many different ways to however they see it. For me, it's really strongly tied to um, knowing that there's two sides to the picture. Some of the side is bad, some of the side is good in your life, but it all comes together to make something beautiful. And there's a verse in the Bible in James that says, "Do not." I don't want to butcher this verse on this interview, but it says, "Do not fret when you face trials of many kinds, because those trials produce perseverance, and perseverance hope." And I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but essentially the verse is saying that those things in life that you really despise or that are very painful can also be the catalyst for great growth, and to develop something in you. And so in a lot of our music, it tries to look at both sides of the picture, making lemons out of lemonade kind of thing. Yeah, that's how it strikes me.
Oh, that's
Okay,
good.
that's good. That's really good. Um, this is a pretty this will be a pretty fun question. Who would you most like to well, let's start with this. I've seen that you all have collaborated with different artists in the same kind of like lane as you all, as far as being indie artists, pretty much local. Um, so um, you have I think you have like a good little a catalog of some collaborations. So who would you want to going forward? Who do you most want to work with? And this is either in the lane that you're in now, and who like in the same kind of level that you work with the people that you work with now, but also thinking on a larger scale, because you all will be on a larger scale at some point, and I mean some point soon. who is somebody who's maybe more prominent in the mainstream right now, who you would love to collaborate with at some point?
Yeah. So I'll give Stacey some time to think.
I know. I already know mine. You go
All
ahead.
right. Okay. All right. So the cool thing about like starting to step into the indie music scene and like especially the Philly music scene is you really start to have a better appreciation for just how much real like talent is out there. And sometimes the music industry isn't, talent isn't the that's not like money is the thing. Money is it's money in the music industry. It's not necessarily raw talent or ability or whatever, but you can find it if you're really looking, like in the city or whatever. Some super talented people. So somebody that I would really love to work with soon. She's a singer. Her name's Kristen B. She's actually from Baltimore, and we're talking to her right now about featuring on a song. She's a vocalist like. She's like a world-class vocal, like she's just everything. So she's one of them. There's a group called Rubber that I would really like to get with too. In Philly, they're these two white guys who just like the singer is just like he's kind of an animal. One of the real blue-eyed soul type guys. Love to work with him. On a bigger level, I would love to work with, of course, Frank Ocean. I would love to work with I would love to just sit under Quincy Jones as a producer. I would love to meet him and to like work with him on a song. I would love to work with some of my producer idols like Monte Booker, who's from Chicago. I'm a really big fan of Pharrell, Timbaland. Those are like the pillars of like hip hop production. I would love to work with Matthew Burnett and Jordan Evans. They're the two producers.
Daniel Caesar
produced most of Daniel Caesar's. Some about their production is just crazy.
Clean.
I would love to work with them.
Truly.
So those are a few of mine. Just a few dreams.
All right, for me, I'm gonna go with one of my homies, Neptune 21. I want to do a song with her really bad. Shout out to Neptune. Kyle put me on to, I think she's from Philly, but I'm not really sure. Orion's Son. I would love to do a song with her.
Yeah, she's fire.
She's another indie artist. Big time, like Kyle said, Frank Ocean, of course. I would love to do a song with James Blake. I think I can make some fire with Drake as well. But yeah, it's a lot of people I would love to work with. I don't know as many producers as Kyle does, and I probably should, but there's a lot of people I would love to work with.
So let me ask y'all a question real quick from your question, Tug. So how do you guys feel about like John Legend or Common and folks on that scale?
Love them.
Yeah, I love those guys.
Love them. Then John Legend was like he was kind of my introduction into R&B music because my older brother used to play him all the time. Like that's the guy. So John Legend, he's like, he's another one of those legends that's up there. And Common, I've just been listening to it was the 15th anniversary of B. So I've been listening to Common's album, and I forgot how fire, because I think Kanye produced that whole album. If he didn't produce all of it, he produced most of it. And the joint was just fire. So those guys are legends too. I mean, they're just,
Yeah, I ditto.
So who I would like to see y'all on a song with is Usher. That's what I want to see y'all on a song with.
Usher.
That's what I want to see. Me and Usher, good friends. We good friends.
Oh yeah.
No.
You guys set us up, bro.
I'll reach out on your behalf though. No worries.
Bet, bro. Appreciate that.
Usher would murder me on the track.
No, actually, I think your vocals could definitely hang with him, bro.
Oh.
I'm being real.
You just have to drink your water that day, bro.
Yeah.
hot tea with lemon.
Yeah, get your hot tea in that day.
All that.
Right. No, that's good. That's real good. All right. So I mean, well then I'm not gonna ask that question because it's kind of like the same So we're gonna talk about your songs for a second. Are your songs based off of personal experience? And if so, have you gotten any pushback from it?
Oh, that's a funny question. I love that question. A lot of our songs are based off of personal experiences. Some of them are not. Some of them are just they can be more storytelling. Like we also like telling stories.
I'm back.
But there are definitely some stuff that's based off of real life. I haven't gotten any pushback because it's not really. I don't know. I don't think the way that I've written any songs would warrant any kind of pushback. So
You throwing me under the bus?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
You know, I created the question, right, bro?
Yo.
But yeah, as brilliant of a writer as Stacey is, he's very poetic and writes very expressive and illustrious things. They do have to do with real life situations, times and stuff like that. So
a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Well, I can answer too. Yes. A lot of the things I write are from personal experience, whether it be my own or something that I've observed and made my own ideals about. And yes, I have gotten pushback. Not a lot, but like there have been a few that have not, either they have not listened or had a problem with what they heard. Even though
that's the game, man. That's the game. That's what
it is.
Do.
It is. So I haven't really been too upset about that, but or upset at all because I understand because what we're talking about is real deep, emotional issues, and they could be close to the heart. So I'm not upset if I get pushback, but I have gotten it, and I know I will in the future because the older I get, the less I am concerned about certain things. So.
Less I give a damn.
Savage.
Right.
So with that, since we kind of touched on some songwriting and maybe some pushback, I'm gonna go in and play one of a few songs that we'll play of yours. And we'll start with a release that you just did, a two song release that you just did. This is The Art of Unwinding by the InGlorious. After following, we will kind of break down, if you don't get the gist, we'll have them kind of break down their mindset behind it and the feeling and the vibe. That's why the episode is titled Rhythm and Vibes, because that's kind of how I classify their music in my mind. And I don't know if I just created something or if that's
you might have
somewhere, and I may have just heard it somewhere and maybe not realize where I got it from. But hey, I may have created it. So let's go with that until somebody comes after me. Here it goes right now, The Art of Unwinding.
I feel like a DJ, bro.
We got a little sip of that tea. Yeah. Relax. Yeah. I know what you want. You don't gotta remind me. Pull up, then breathe slow. This the art of unwinding. I know what you want. You don't gotta remind me. Pull up, then breathe slow. This the art of unwinding. Fresh off whites, no Scarface. Fresh chop on in the fireplace. Brody taught me only sides on the carpet. Grown folk feng shui, how to groove it. Stella Rosa in the glass for the debrief. But there's Tuesday in the bag if need be. Pour you up a bubble bag for the repeat. Take time, relax, and holla if you need me. When you get back, you go turning off the TV. You know I'm sensei, but there's things you can teach me. Candlestick magic. as the conversation deepens. Energy on wave and we swimming in the deep end. No doubt I can take the pressure from you. See clouds, how you like the view from up here. No doubt I'll make all your stresses disappear. In the zone now, nobody can touch us in here. I know what you want, you don't gotta remind me. Pull up, then breathe slow. This the art of unwinding. I know what you want, you don't gotta remind me. Pull up, then breathe slow. This the art of unwinding. 3 a.m. girl, it's been late. I'll make time if you need to stay. Clear your mind of the everyday. Sometimes you need a short escape. Everyone don't know how to break. Independent in every way. You get your bag, no time to waste. But tonight let's unwind my way. I know what you want. You don't gotta remind me. Pull up, then we slow. This the art of unwinding. Remind me, then we slow. This the art of unwinding. 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 This the art of unwinding.
All right. The art of unwinding. Now, let's kind of break into I guess where you were with that as far as the mindset. I'll tell you one thing. Let me give a response to that. I'll tell you one thing. That was a much needed track for me. It was something that came in at the perfect time with this, coronavirus quarantine and being wound up. You basically looking at the song and being like, you know what, like I'm in grad school, so being in the spring semester, it's like you're heading towards summer. So as it gradually, as you go deeper into the spring, it gets nicer and nicer. So you look at what happened, we get stuck in a situation where, I mean, we can go out for walks and things of that nature, but as far as socializing, that usually increases as the weather gets better. So
right.
So we weren't able to do that. And it's like that I'm a social being. Like, I think we're all to a certain degree social beings, but I think I would consider myself like a very, very like social person. So it has me kind of wound up not being able to just be with you. Like, y'all my brothers. Like, so just to be able to pull up on y'all. Like, I used to pull up on Stacy after class sometimes, like just talk and do stuff like that where we can't do stuff like that. So this song came at a much needed time for me. I'll just say that as a response to the song and what it's done for me in this season. It's definitely kind of giving me that chill, like that calm, and like it's gonna be all right. Like, we can vibe out. We got some music to vibe out to, and it kind of settled my spirit a little bit. So that's my response to it. But I just want to know where y'all were with it. How did y'all come up with that? What was the process?
Yeah, I'll let Stace take most of this one. But I want to first just give a shout out to a good friend of ours named Daniel Hall Walker, who produced the majority of this track. He's just a beast. Like, he's a really good producer. And he's somebody that we connected with maybe a few years ago. Actually, like maybe 2 years ago. And he's a musician. He's kind of like a bedroom producer, just like I am. But he's got some really inspired stuff. So he actually produced the majority of this track. And just gave it to us one day and was like, yo, I like this loop. And we were like, yo, that's really fire. So Stacy wrote to the majority of it. And his dad, Stacy Sr., came in and laid some saxophone, as you heard later. So I'll let him talk about the track. Go ahead.
Yeah, so if I'm being honest, that track just came out of the overflow of just kind of some of my friends and some different things I picked up in the crib, honestly. Like, shout out to Leon and Quill. my roommates, like the lines in there about the Stella Rosa and like the taking your socks off on the carpet and like just like having like a chill vibe, not doing too much. Like I pulled some of those things from just what they do in their individual lives, and just like for me, I like a lot of nuance. I don't want to be everything doesn't have to be obvious. Things can be unpacked. So how I wanted to present it was me, you know, presenting a situation where a woman is not under any obligation to do anything but relax, but to feel comfortable, but to feel safe. And that's where the art of unwinding came out of. Nothing too deep. It's just, things that'll put you in a place where you don't have to think about the woes of the world and how they're, kind of weighing you down. And this song is not just for women, it's for everybody, because I love this song.
So real quick, y'all snuck this one out. I ain't know y'all had a 2020 release. And I just downloaded it. And just from listening to it on the podcast, man, I'm definitely gonna put that on repeat. That's definitely going on repeat. That song is so dope. And the instrumental is even crazier. Like you could just take the vocals off of it and let the instrumental play.
It's on rock.
And still create a crazy vibe. And I might play it for my wife tonight. I might play it. You know what I mean?
Watch it,
PG-13. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it real with y'all.
I appreciate
it. I feel you, bro. That's the vibe.
That's a vibe, yo. And I really appreciate that insight is what you said, because I think we've been in such a society where there could be a level of pressure on women, and you brought up specifically the idea that all a woman in your presence, from how you're speaking on the track, is all she has to worry about is relaxing. She doesn't have to worry about the pressure of whatever,
right,
whatever they think is supposed to happen when you come and relax, or
right,
whatever other maybe other men have kind of expected or put on her as an expectation as to what it was to interact and hang out. So I really appreciate you breaking that down, because that's a really good message. I think that you don't hear a lot, especially in like a music that can kind of be based out of some R&B and things of that nature. Usually you're talking about the thing.
Let's get it.
Like you're like, you like, let's get it. You ain't talking about, all you need to do is relax. and we don't have to, we don't have to worry about anything else other than just relaxing and unwinding from the day, the week, or whatever it is. So I really I definitely appreciate that breakdown. So I'll come out the gate with the next question. If you could do a show open up a show for any artist, who would it be and why?
Wow, that's a good question. Because it would have to be you want to get with somebody who you feel like their audience would be able to come in and be your audience too.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I think I would like to do something maybe with somebody from the Love Renaissance crew, like that crew is like Black, Summer Walker.
We definitely open up for Drum.
I'd love to open up.
Oh, talk about that too next. Talk about that whole experience next.
Yeah, that would be cool. Him. It had to be like a quirkier artist, I think.
Yeah. Maybe somebody, we could probably open up for a few people on like Earth Gang, maybe.
Yeah.
Boss. Even a SZA or Kendrick or Isaiah Rashad.
I would love to open up for SZA.
Yeah. Like those types of.
Would y'all do something with Tyler?
Yeah, I'll definitely open up for Tyler.
I don't know if we would if
I don't know if it'll fit, but I would do it.
Fit. I mean, I would do it, but his crowd wouldn't fit with us.
His Igor audience, maybe.
Maybe. they might start giving us the finger and throwing stuff at us. Like,
Hey,
fun,
and we keep on going.
yeah, I slightly would like that. Nah, shout out to Tyler the Creator, man.
Tyler the Creator.
But he probably would defend you, you know.
He would.
He
He
defended
would
Drake.
definitely defend you. That's what I'm saying. He would definitely defend you. He kind of blasted his crowd for the way they treated Drake.
But that's what I'm saying. If Drake's getting that treatment, like,
yeah, that is true. That is true. That is true. That is true.
I'd say our music is a bit more eclectic than Drake's.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It is. It is.
No, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
Like people try to put Drake down because his music is so mainstream, but they forget that he created like that lane. So it's like it's mainstream now, but it wasn't
Right.
when he,
Yeah.
No, yeah,
when he was doing
right.
his
It
thing.
definitely wasn't mainstream.
Yeah.
When he first brought it.
He
on
just
the
was so
scene.
good at it. Now it's mainstream, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't be mad at Drake for being good at his job. And I
Get
think
into
some
that
people are
bag.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Get into that bag. All right, so real quick, out of all of the songs, Kyle, that you presented with us today, right? Which one is your favorite to perform live?
Okay. Favorite of the songs I sent you?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Let me see what the guy said.
Oh, it's probably Rainfall. Because the funny thing is a lot of these songs that I sent you, we don't perform live often. It's funny. We're evolving in the way we perform, and we really want to come to a place where our performances are really good experiences. They feel like a story. They feel like they have an arc of rise and fall, like, and really feel like they leave you with something. But at the same time, we're battling a lot because our music is it's produced. It's so produced and produced well, might I add. But it's just the two of us primarily, and then we have our unofficial third InGlorious member, Wayne, who's usually playing guitar with us. But other than that, we have to in order to perform some of these songs, we have to either hire a bunch of instrumentalists to come in, which costs money, or we have to play through backing tracks. So we're always doing some type of hybrid. So some of my favorite songs that we have, we actually don't perform too much, just because the weight of them is so difficult to really and I want performances to really be captured like how the song is meant for them to be captured. So for example, like on this list that I sent you, No Water is probably my favorite song of the list that I sent you, but it's one that we don't play often because of just some things that are just tough to do. Rainfall is probably the one that I enjoy performing the most.
Yeah, that's a good
all
one.
those songs. It's a very hymn-like song. It's simple. It only takes the two of us. It was the first song we wrote together where I really felt like, wow, this is a great song like that, and where our energies really mashed together, and we came out with something that I feel like was very representative of who we are, what our sound is. That's got to be my favorite of those to perform.
Okay. So the next question is, do you have your guitar handy?
Yes, I do. I got a guitar handy, bro.
So can we get the live rendition, maybe one part of the chorus, or like, you know what I'm saying? Of the song?
We might be able to. The only thing is,
if there's a delay.
Is there a delay between what he hears, because he's not with me? Is there a delay between what he hears and what I do? That might be the only problem. And I am a stickler about stuff like that. Like it's all
right then. No, let's not do it.
We will have you all back, and next time we have you back, we want y'all to be together so that
we'll be in the same room
together. Yeah, so y'all can do it. Y'all can set up and do everything. You might even be able to do what I did with the music as far as playing it right through the Zoom.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Right.
We would love to do that.
Y'all could do like a live. We could just make that like a live concert thing. Like,
I'll invite all my friends.
Yeah,
we're down.
So next question, and after you answer this question, we'll play another song.
Okay.
Next question is okay, this is good. Where have you performed, and what was the experience like? Where's let's say the top place that you performed at, and what was the experience like?
You want to hit that one, Stace? I already know, but
you can say it. Yeah, you can say it. You can say it.
My favorite performance What was this? No, I think it was. It was
best. Come on, let's just say best.
I'm gonna say my favorite because of where it was.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So we got to perform at World Cafe Live, and World Cafe Live is a place that's had some of our best concert experiences. I've loved going there to see Leanne La Havas. I've been there to see Robert Glasper. I've been there to see Toby Nwigwe. I've seen some just amazing artists there. And we've played upstairs at World Cafe Live before, like on the upstairs. They have like a cafe area for some open mics and stuff like that. But we got this gig through Rec Philly, which is a company that's growing in Philly, which is aiming to help creatives, independent creatives, like to grow. Shout out to Rec Philly. They got us this show because a company in Philly called Tech Guru. They have a building. They have a building on Market Street. It's like a independent office working space. But they had a holiday party and they rented out downstairs in World Cafe Live. And so we thought that we were playing upstairs, and we ended up being able to play downstairs, which was just the coolest thing. Cause like that's just where we had just seen James Poyser up there playing and all these people that we admire so much. So it was dope because we got to hear our music come through World Cafe Live sound system, which was just like so dope for me. So that was my favorite show to play, just because you really feel like, oh man, this feels like the big leagues. So that was cool.
That was for me too. That's the same one.
All right.
But we've also had some shows. We've also had some shows through so far, like in different cities. We've been doing some.
I like the one in DC.
We had a really great show in DC. Like DC's vibe was just amazing. I would love to go back there and play again.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and go into. You mentioned the song "No Water," and that's actually one of my favorite songs. So we're gonna go ahead and play it. Same format. Right after just kind of the idea of just general, because I know the artist is not really supposed to give up too much of the all right,
man, you get the exclusive, bro.
Just a little
we're gonna give you the real.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and play "No Water," and then we'll come back and hear a little bit about that.
Bet.
Remember you say that? Yeah. You know that moment when you've poured out so much of yourself that there's just none left for you? Yeah, me too. Sensei. Yeah. Chasing you, but can't put this fire out. No water here, so I'm passing through. Used to an overflow, but too much will empty you. No water here, I feel the drought. Can't keep chasing you, but can't put this fire out. No water here, so I'm passing through. Used to an overflow, but too much will empty you. No water here, 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 no water here. I just gotta see something new for the love of the blue sky. Rolling in the deep, but the sharks by watch the riptide. Word to the wise, I done growed up. Kids by the sun, think it's smiling at me. I can show you my superpower in the midnight hour. In the midnight hour. In the midnight hour. I can show you my superpower in the midnight hour. In the midnight hour. In the midnight hour. No water here, I feel the drought. Can't keep chasing you, but can't put this fire out. No water here, so I'm passing through. Used to an overflow, but too much will empty you. stranger, but I'm no danger. Oh, no water here, succumb to fear. Oh, wisdom cashed out, wearing this doubt. Catch me wearing this doubt. Catch me wearing this doubt. No water, no water. No water here, getting hard to memorize. Future still pretty clear, but the past shine a dimmer light. Keep the fire in my pocket, it remind me I'm alive. All glory to the Most High, but I need reminding sometimes. I'ma make you pay attention, 'cause feeling ain't been mutual in a minute. But love always prevails, right? So there must be a reason why my well's been running dry. Ooh, no water here, I feel the drought. Can't keep chasing you, but can't put this fire out. No water here, so I'm passing through. Used to an overflow, but too much will empty you. No water here, I feel the drought. Can't keep chasing you, but can't put this fire out. No water here, so I'm passing through. Used to an overflow, but too much will empty you. Play. Yeah.
We're gonna give y'all that. We gave y'all a lot. So we're gonna give y'all there's still quite a bit left with the vibes on that one. But y'all can go ahead and check that out on Rainfall, the EP, No Water Here. That song, that's one of my songs right there. I don't think there's not a song in y'all catalog that I don't just vibe to for different reasons that put me in a certain mindset. But enough from me. I want to hear about you all and where you all were individually and collectively in creating that song and what that song was kind of touching on. Yeah, so that's it.
Cool. So this is definitely one of our favorite songs too. And we hear that a lot from people like, man, huh?
You can go ahead.
Oh, I was gone, brother. What you mean? So this is one of our favorite songs. We get a really good response from it. Definitely one of my favorite songs, thinking about when we created it. So that piano, there's a piano sample that just plays throughout the song. And the origin of this song was I'm a teacher. If you didn't know, I'm a music teacher in Southwest Philadelphia. And I was crafting a lesson, actually. I was building a lesson on sampling. I wanted to show them like what sampling is and like what, how it was being used in music and stuff like that. So I took this nocturne. It was a Chopin nocturne. Frederick Chopin, the classical pianist. He has this nocturne that was just really dope. And I was chopping it up for this lesson to show them how you could chop up a piece of a song and just make it sound really cool. And I remember just hearing that ding, ding, ding. And I was like, yo, that's hot. So I brought it to the studio one day with Ace. And as soon as he heard it, he was really rocking with it. And then that's one of the few songs where we actually sat down and wrote a majority of that song, like right there in the studio that day. Typically, that song wrote itself. Yeah, that one's one that kind of flowed. It kind of wrote itself. Typically, I'll come up with a beat or something and I'll send it to him, and then he'll write to it at home, and then maybe we'll come together and do a little bit more writing and then start recording it. But that was one of the songs where as soon as we heard it, we just kind of sat down and got into like really writing. And so he came up with that melody that was so fire, the da 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 da, and that joke was just amazing too. So that song really flowed. Part of it, reason why it flowed, and I'll let Stacey talk about the song more, but I was going through a breakup at that time, and so how niggas getting their feelings. So I was really it just flowed, like whatever I was feeling like that day just kind of flowed onto the track. This is also the first song that I have ever sang on. This is our first InGlorious song that I ever took a verse on. So that's important. That was important to me to do that and to feel like I put my stamp on the track. And that's not always a comfortable situation for me either.
Right.
When you sing it with such an amazing singer like Ace. But you know, you try to put your stamp on it and stuff like that. And I think it came out. You know, there's always things you think you could do better, but I feel like the feeling of what I was singing about came out on the track, and so really important one to me. But I'll let Stacey talk about some other stuff, the themes and stuff and so on. He must be. He
So
might
I think
be
you. Yeah, I think he froze a little bit. So I'm just say
reception.
when I think about that track, it made me think about not just like romantic relationships, but also like friendships as well too.
And that's a part of it.
You
That's
get to
definitely a part of it.
Yeah. So you get to a place in a friendship, like from and this is why I vibe with it so much. I think I've had different situations in my life, friendships, and this different, like even family relationships that have come to a place where it's like I'm drained and I need to, like, I love you, but at the same time, like I have to recharge, and and staying in such close proximity with you won't allow me to do that. And so
Right.
my well is running dry, and
Yeah.
you're not. It's not reciprocal here right now for whatever reason. They could be going through something. I'm not judging a person who's maybe not adding as much as they're taking it from a relationship, but more so on my end, being able to recognize that I need to get to a place where I need to be refilled. If I'm ever going to be able to keep pouring, I need to be refilled. So that's kind of what I've taken from it. But I'm gonna let Ace, another writer and singer on this track, I'm gonna let him kind of give his take.
Right, and like Kyle was saying, this was an overflow of like my first real like heartache and heartbreak, and during that time, it was a feeling of like I wanted to, like I didn't want the relationship to be over, so I really was pushing for, like let's try again, and then I got to a place where I'm like, all right, like if I can't chase you. I'm not gonna chase you forever. And I was starting to realize certain things about myself and certain compromising situations I was putting myself in for the sake of someone else's feelings, who could not necessarily reciprocate them because of where they were. Like and it's like I'm never the one that's holding any sort of animosity towards anybody I've ever been involved with, because at the end of the day they taught me something. But this was kind of out of the overflow of like, you know what, I can't keep doing this. Like I'm used to a certain thing, and I'm used to, you know, even coming from you getting a certain thing, but it's not here anymore. So I gotta move on. And a lot of it is, I touch on even a lot of like Levi said, my relationships with just friends, or just even ideals that I have, that I've grown from, or that have evolved. So like it's a lot of depth that went into this song.
It's good.
Okay. So, Chuck, that's not a question that's on the list. I actually wrote it down in the midst of the interview process.
Okay.
So, what's the biggest adversity you guys experienced as a duo?
Great question.
Let me go first.
Okay.
Yeah, let me go first. I think I wouldn't even call it a greatest adversary. I said adversary. Adversity. I'm having trouble with that word. But I think a constant thing for me and Kyle is just making sure we're on the same wavelength, which is not as easy as it sounds. And I know you probably heard with different groups before, like how it's hard to stay on one page when we have two different people that ultimately have two different ideals, even if some are similar. The hardest thing for us, and it's not a big thing because we've known each other for 20 plus years, so Like at this point, unless he kills my mother, like he's here for life. But like, it's just like I may see another idea for this song that he may not see, or he feels that a piece of us is missing from this song, or is not as doesn't go as in depth, or just the things like that. It's just a push pull of being in a relationship, like a partnership like this, where you are going through creative processes, and we're men, so there is a bit of pride involved, even though it's not a lot. There is a bit of pride involved. I'll speak for myself. There is a bit of pride involved because I take pride in my pen and I take pride in my ideas. But we push each other, so at the end of the day, it's something good.
Yeah, I think I would agree that that's our one of the most delicate things that we do as a group is together you're crafting a brand, and that brand has to be unified as far as the mission of what you want to do, what you want to say, and at the same time, me and Stacey are so. We're not so different, but we definitely have a lot of differences. Like we're two different people,
right?
So that's important whenever we're crafting music, is to make sure that the vision of what we want to do and the brand of what we want to do stays true, but that he doesn't feel like he is being inauthentic, and I don't feel like I'm being inauthentic in what we're doing. So that's definitely a big one. Making sure that you establish a brand and really stick to it and be a unified front in that standpoint.
Oh yeah, that's great. I thank y'all for y'all transparency, man, because a lot of people would like to withhold those things from everybody else because they don't want people to view them in a different light. But I definitely appreciate the transparency on what is like the biggest thing for you guys that you have to overcome. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a great question, Raymond. That was a really good question.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So this will be kind of the last question of this part of the segment. What I want to know is what's next for the InGlorious?
Hey man, so we definitely had a really good list of goals this year. And there's definitely been a very big blockage in the way of that goal,
Right.
called COVID-19. But but we're rocking. We're doing a lot of writing. We like to release projects every fall. That's kind of been the thing that we've been on. So
Okay.
we kind of just a couple weeks ago solidified the idea for the next project. So we're pretty excited about that. We've already got some pretty good music that's going to be on the project. We have the song list of it already, where he's even coming over right now to do some recording. So one good thing about quarantine is that we have definitely got some good time to do some recording, and we're trying to take it to the next level as far as the production value and as far as the quality of the mixing and engineering and all that kind of stuff. So that's on the music end. On the business end of things, we're really trying to grow our fan base, and so we want to grow our social media following and stuff. And we've been doing that by playing a lot of different shows, and we were going through different shows in different states. In Baltimore, playing some shows here, DC playing some shows there. That's been stopped because of the coronavirus.
Right.
So we're re-strategizing as the country is slowly starting to reopen. But what's next for us is we're kind of just still grinding. We're really in a place of really building our audience and building our brand. And we want to keep doing that until it is so strong that we have basically negotiating power and our own ownership of our stuff.
Right.
And because people have talked to us about certain things. We've gotten certain offers or inquiries from labels or whatever and stuff like that, but we're not in any position. We don't have any leverage, like as far as where we are as artists right now. So our big thing right now where we are is building leverage so that we have bargaining power and that the chips are, on our table. So that's how we're growing as artists. We also really want to grow as writers. We're songwriters too, and so in a big way, there are things that will never come out of the InGlorious, but there may be songs that we write for other people, and we've got plenty of songs that just didn't really fit like the InGlorious brand or whatever, but that are still fire and somebody else would definitely love. So we want to get into the songwriting for other people as well, and that's what was cool about the you mentioned earlier, the Justice thing on Instagram, that competition that he was having to try to find some writers for his label. And we got the DM, but he never hit us up, so we don't know what happened with that. But
which is fine.
But we are we're always just knocking on doors, and whatever opens is what God wants to open, and whatever doesn't is what's not supposed to. So we're just still doing the same thing.
Right? I just want to say something. As you were talking, it was put on my spirit, man. Like when you talked about leverage and not having enough chips stacked, y'all got something that most people don't got, man. Y'all got faith. And two, with the faith comes God, you know what I'm saying? So one thing I know personally from personal experience, just going through some stuff myself, in the transition of my life that I'm in right now, is it don't really matter, excuse me, how we feel about the leverage, because God is our leverage. So if he want that door to open, it's going to open. You know what I'm saying? And we have to have the faith to walk into the very thing that he's calling us to walk into. So I just wanted to share that with you because it dropped right in my spirit as soon as you start talking.
So, I feel you on that. I appreciate that.
Y'all never gonna have to settle, man. Cattle on 1,000 hills.
Yeah, we want to walk strong in that.
I mean, the thing that's the thing that is so obvious to me and to both of us is that there's so much room to get knocked off track, even under the guise of success. And there's so many things that can be seen as success, but are really poison. And so we definitely understand that as musicians. We understand what it means to be in the music industry and what it means to be in music. We understand what it can cost. What it costs some people is just crazy. So we're looking for the perfect thing. We're looking for the God thing. So whatever that is, we're just going to keep grinding and keep working as hard as we need to be, and really sowing in the ways that we need to be sowing. And whatever happens is, I'm definitely leaving it up to him. And we both feel very at peace with that. Like we're not not that we're not hungry. Like, and it's a balance too, because we are driven, and we want to see certain things happen, and we have goals. Like I have a list of goals that I want to see in my life, and I look at those goals, I pray over those goals and stuff like that. But there's also a peace that comes with what we do too. And at the end of the day, it's just really enjoyable to make music together. And the moment that stops happening would be a very sad and horrible moment. So whatever we do, I just want to keep enjoying what it is that we do. Just the joy of hearing a new song idea it's just awesome. So I want to keep that forever.
That's dope, bro.
So one quick question. I know I said that was the last question, but one of our viewers, being my mother, who has been on here faithfully this whole time, she had a question. Her question was, when y'all make it big, not if, when y'all make it big, do you have an idea of anybody who you would want to open up for you?
That's a good question.
Maybe somebody that maybe a little behind you in the journey right now that you see as an artist that maybe not as developed as you are now. You might arrive at a different point than them, and you can kind of put them on.
That's a good question,
Malachi.
Mom.
Who'd you say, Ace?
He said Malachi.
Malachi. Mally's working on some stuff.
I choose Malachi.
Yeah. I got to hear some samples. I got to hear some samples. So that
I don't
he got the vibe in the ear.
Yeah.
He does.
Molly, you look at Molly, listen to Molly's music, he might even be able to ascend at a little faster rate because he got a certain ear for a sound that's like that's capturing to what our generation wants to hear. He got some slaps.
Yeah. You know who also will be good is Gary. So we featured Mile 333 on one of our songs, and actually he's on a couple of songs that are coming up too. He's really dope. I could see him opening for us. I could see Mitch Lakes. I could see Nep. Like those are some artists that are kind of our peers, though. We could be opening up for them. So
yeah, it can go either way.
It could be like a collaboration thing. It doesn't have to be like, oh, they're opening up. It could be like a collaboration tour. Like y'all just go out together and kind of collaborate. So, but yeah, definitely Mile 33. Yeah. He's it. He might be the one.
He seems like a good fit.
Yeah. He might be the one. I like that sound. I like that sound. So that's another one who I definitely be vibing to, on the music scene. Mm-hmm. But
oh, my bad. I seen the hand gesture. I'm like, wait, what? What's that about? Yeah. So, number one, thank you guys so much for getting on, man. Like I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. More than I guess I anticipated. Like I had high expectations, but y'all raised the expectations to a crazy level with the transparency, because I'm a big guy on transparency. So I thank y'all for that. I truly do. I truly thank y'all for coming on and just giving not only our fans but y'all fans, man, giving them something, a deeper look into who you are, not only as artists but as people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the questions was geared more toward like the artistry of it and the creative process of it, but it wasn't to the effect of who Kyle is personally or who Stacey is personally. But as a fan of InGlorious, I'm sitting back like, yo, this dude is deep. Like this dude got some, they got some material, they got some things brewing on the inside of them. So I definitely thank you guys for that. For joining us, man. It's been a great hour and 24 minutes that we've been.
It flew by. It definitely flew by. I really like as I've gotten more into platforms like this, like listening to them, it's enjoyable to be on that kind of platform.
For sure.
Just kind of talk and process through some things. So I really like what you guys are doing already. You already have a pretty diverse range of things that you've discussed in the ways you've done it. So that's really dope.
Yeah, I gotta give it up. Right, I gotta give it up to my co-host though, man. Like Tuck is really the driving force behind a lot of this, man. We really, I'm just giving it up to my man Tuck, man. Like I'm just
Papa Tuck, bro.
That's really where it's at, and that's for the whole world to hear. Like that's my guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Anything he need, I got him.
Right back at you, bro.
So we're gonna break into a different segment really quick before we close out, and it's something that we just started this week, but is our business highlight, small business highlight. And if anybody is interested, please reach out and send us an email to freshperspective20@gmail.com if you want your business highlighted, and we'll send you the details on how you can get your business highlighted. But
y'all got some good ideas.
Yeah.
So, so we gotta start with my business, Feel Rich Lawn Care. A better way to feel rich. We handle all your lawn care needs, man. You can reach us on Facebook. You can reach us on Instagram at Feel Rich Lawn Care LLC on Facebook. Come and give us a like, give us a share. If you need some work done, you can reach us at 484-862-2085. And remember, there's a better way to feel rich. Go ahead, Tuck.
So just to close out, we're going to do the, if any of you who are listening to this live or will go back to listen to this either via SoundCloud or rewatch the video, because we are some handsome black men. You might want to come watch the video, but they are responsible. They allowed us to use their song, and it's called "This Pure Thing." I don't know if you all want to give a little insight to the song, or if you just want to run it and go in the outro. But this is the cap up. No, it's not a cap up. I forgot the young folk use cap up for something totally different. This is the closing of episode 5, Rhythm and Vibes, with the InGlorious. And we're gonna go out on our theme song, which is "This Pure Thing," and it's their track. So if you all want to give a little insight to it before we run it, that is fine, and I'll run it right after you finish.
Just go ahead, Ace. My fault.
No, this is just a song that just captures the pure things. Don't forget about your love for your family, your friends, your love for what you're passionate about. Even if the best circumstances are not around, there's still always those things that are the purest of ideals that you have for yourself that can bring you out of that shine of light. There's always light when you have those things. Basically, it's the pure things. Don't forget about them. It's easy to forget about them.
It's real easy to forget about them, especially in our climate today. So I would say, whether it be this song or any other song that brings you peace or brings you joy, go ahead and steal some minutes and listen to that. Like this week I've had to definitely turn some stuff off, and rest in peace to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. And it's just been a heavy cloud. So there's a lot of processing that we as people got to do. So, process it and deal with it and look at it, but then also take time to don't forget about the pure things. Like take some time and just give your brain a break from it all, give your mind a rest, and relax.
Right.
Good,
hit that thing.
And all right, and just a little added thing, we will work on, like we mentioned earlier in the episode, we will work on getting them back on to do a live concert.
Yeah, we got
so they can give us the vibes. So we're going to set that up at some point this summer, because yes, we're going into yellow, but that doesn't mean everything is going to be as open as it would need to be to get like a concert together. So we're going to work on that. So right now, we're just going to run it, and we'll see you next time. Please subscribe, share the channel. More content is coming your way from the Fresh Perspective Podcast.
It's like, wow, this here life ain't nothing short of beautiful. I mean, wow, this here life ain't nothing short of beautiful. Yeah. Pressure make diamonds, pressure burst pipes. Pressure main thing, make me lose sleep at night. Pressure keep me active, pressure ain't passive. Pressure make sure we ain't just cool, we relaxing. There's one thing I know in this young life of mine, is that pressure either sharpens you or kills you on sight. Am I right? When I'm throwing, ain't no time to be polite. Hit me up in 24, let me know if you alright. There's beauty in the struggle, there's beauty in the fall. There's beauty even though you're no longer in my arms. There's beauty in the chaos, there's beauty in the calm. In reality, beauty is where vibes behold. We make the music, make your souls work. Tell me how you're getting fed, cause your heart seem malnourished. One grain on a sandy beach, made his way to the water, all he wanna do is see like, wow, this is life and it's short of beautiful. I mean, wow, this is life and it's short of beautiful. Caffeine for the heart rate, just the fact that I'm alive, keep a man awake. It's the pure things, yeah, the pure things. No matter what, don't forget about the pure things. Caffeine for the heart rate, just the fact that I'm alive, keep a man awake. It's the pure pure thing, yeah, the pure thing. No matter what, don't forget about the pure things. It's so relaxing, smooth in the waxes. Whole wide world in my hands, call me Atlas. Road to Damascus, not a lot of traffic, but don't go fast, cause I promise you'll miss. Got the knowledge on deck, but to learn is to live. Just be wary of distraction, the buzz in your ear, white noise all around, but the vision is clear. Yeah, the vision is clear.
All right, that'll be all. Usually hear the ending part on our outro, so y'all have heard the ending part. I figured that would be a good amount of the song. That's the whole track as far as the core part of the track. That outro part, I'm about to go listen to that myself. Y'all should too. Rainfall is on all platforms, all streaming platforms, and so is Peace, and so is their drop with the art of unwinding. So go check them out. I'm telling you, it'll bless your ears. It'll get you at ease. Kyle spoke to that peaceful music. We thank you again for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the Fresh Perspective podcast. We love you all. There's nothing you can do about it. See you later.